Alrighty guys, what's going on everybody? Welcome back here to another update, my friends. Hope everyone is having a fantastic evening so far. Glad to give you guys another update here. So, before we get on into it, let's go and give a warm welcome to the people in the chat. We have Peachy, we did have Courtney, let's see, we have Tabletop, we have Lake Effect, we got ourselves Legacy, James, Haley, Black Label, Tom, MD, we have Paysan? Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, which I likely am. I hope you're doing good. So we have Pierce. Hope you're doing good, guys. Let's see, monitoring for South Florida. Yeah, we definitely will keep an eye on it. I'm going to go ahead and tell you all right off the bat, there is still a few things we need to learn about the storm, but there is still a lot of support, with the storm here. We're going to be watching the Caribbean over the next little bit as we are seeing another system. Now, speaking of, before we get on into that, I want to go ahead and take a quick little moment to look at Christy. Christy is a whopping Category 5 hurricane in the Eastern Pacific right now. We're going to zoom in just a bit. So, right now, oh my goodness, I keep on hitting this stupid mic. It's like spring-loaded. Anyways, so you can see how well-defined that eye was. I mean, this thing was nearly symmetrical. Actually, that in particular scan, which it doesn't look like it here. Let's actually hop back to this page here. There you go. There you go. So you can see how perfectly symmetrical that eye was, dude. And that is crazy. Now, if we take a look at the latest satellite imagery as we progress down in time, you notice how it's starting to kind of wobble and how the eye is shrinking. It is currently going under a eye wall replacement cycle. So basically, the way I kind of explain this to people, it's not really something that, I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain what this really is doing. But the best way that I kind of explain this to y'all is how reptiles, like snakes, say they shed their skin. This is kind of like what hurricanes do. It's like they're shedding in a way. So they're just trying to get a new coat overall. So that is, that is kind of what the storm is doing here. You can see that eye is much, much smaller there overall. Yes, Haley, I did, and I put a response on it. You're going to have to look at it. Let's see. GFS seems to go crazy on this one. Yeah, we'll look at those individual models here in a minute. But anyways, yeah, I just want to talk a little bit about the storm here. It's just absolutely wild, man. Like I said, this thing is Category 5 right now. Now, honestly, there's a pretty good chance that this thing might even be more closer to upper Cat 4 since it's undergoing this eye wall replacement cycle. This thing, these storms here, whenever they do this cycle, they do tend to weaken quite a bit while doing so because they're using a lot of energy to recirculate themselves. There overall. All right, y'all. Well, you guys know what you joined for. We're just gonna get on into it. I just wanted to mention that real quickly, just to talk about it with y'all. But let's hop down to here. Let's zoom out a little bit. We're gonna hop down to the Western Atlantic, and we're gonna perfectly. All right, there you go. You guys can see the time up in the top, right there. Let's see, my mic sounds low. Does it? I don't understand. Let's maybe turn that up all the way. Is that better, y'all? I don't know. Anyways, but yeah. So you guys can follow along in the time in the top right out there. So we're definitely going to be watching this here over the next little bit. Now, first of all, we're going to talk about the last couple of GFS runs. We're going to start from the Ozulu. So basically this morning, we're going to look at the overall, we're going to look at the overall models here for the last couple of days and stuff. So or the last day, I should say, for now. Now, I want to go ahead and give a little bit of a disclaimer. Do not trust this 100%. So what you're about to see, just know it's one model. It's one model run. These things change in a matter of one run. So, there's huge differences. You're going to actually see that when we look at these model runs. But the thing I want to really point out here is the consistency and the fact that the model has been talking about this for a long time. Actually, for the last several days, this has been in the works here with the models. And it seems like, we're on something here. So GFS, this was from this morning, shows an absolute monster. And remember, take this with a grain of salt. Don't trust this too fully right here. But GFS has this thing being quite a monster, tracking into the Gulf. Track does not matter on this model run, so don't take that serious. But this model run in particular has it going into the Gulf, but it does show the storm becoming a pretty strong storm, pretty large storm too. Absolutely huge storm. Then we're going to hop to the 06, which was from basically this morning, which, it has the storm at a completely different, kind of a completely different outcome here. Basically showing that the storm is going to be a little bit smaller here for one. Let's see here. A little bit smaller here for one, and also taking a bit of a different track. Now, like I said, you can obviously tell between those two models that there is such a really big differential between those two runs. So, just goes to show you that we don't know quite yet where the thing's going to go, what it's going to do fully. But, like I said, consistency is there, and the model does continue to talk about a tropical system happening. Here's the 12 Zulu. So this is from late morning, this morning here. Kind of showing a relatively similar scenario, but it's really odd. This is a really weird type of track here, according to GFS. It has it like swinging by Cuba, then pulling north, which, a track like that is very weird, kind of uncommon, actually, very uncommon. So that just leads me to believe that model is it's probably not going to happen for that exact track, to be honest with you. Then, of course, the latest 18 Zulu. This one takes it completely different, doing some really funky stuff. You can see kind of revolving, doing some Fujiwara stuff going on up there right over Cuba. The thing, probably, if it did that, it would not be able to hold itself very well because of Cuba's terrain. But then it goes over Bahamas and pulls this way out, dude. And then it just shoots back. You see that? That's weird. That is really weird. So, like I said, you can't trust these models individually right now. It's still way early to be for sure, of what the thing is going to do. But like I mentioned, the fact is the fact that the model has been talking about this consistently. While it's having a different scenario each time, it is continuously saying tropical system, tropical system, tropical system. And that's what we really need to focus on right now, is the consistency. It would be a lot different if, say, the GFS model said, okay, this could happen, and in the next run it's gone. That's not been the case with this. The case for this one is that it's been consistent for the last several days. The model has been talking about a tropical system coming into the Caribbean here towards the end of the month. So that is what we need to focus on right now, and that's what I want to go ahead and get out there. There's absolutely no reason to panic, no reason to freak out over this right now. There's just absolutely a lot of things that we really just need to figure out about the storm. It needs a lot of investigation, and we're going to continue to investigate the storm here over the next little bit. We're going to hop over to ensembles now. So this is basically, one model with a bunch of runs. This is the EPS model. We'll take a look at the ensemble member here, showing, basically the average between those, the background is kind of, showing the pressure. But you can see, those little red dots there, those are the individual ensembles here. So you can actually see, once again, you can follow the time up in the top right here. I know this is pretty far out, obviously, and that's what makes it impossible to track exactly where it's going to go right now. But, like I said, consistency is what we're looking at today. And it's been very consistent. The models, some of the individual models like GFS have been talking about this thing for literal days. And now, like the ensembles, if we take a look at them, you notice how there's a lot of heat, a lot of things start popping up here once we kind of approach the early part of November, which, once again, is still several days away. But according to the EPS, we do have some tropical development that could happen into early November. And like I said, it just kind of really scatters all over the place here. There's just so much here that we basically just need to watch. But anyways, so yeah, there you go. EPS showing several members, several potential with the storm here, in which, that's another model that does talk about this system here. So that's what we need to pay attention to. So it looks like development's going to be there towards the Caribbean, maybe towards the end of the month. Near Halloween is when things could start to form. That is a possibility. And it really didn't take off until like early November, but we'll definitely watch out for that. So let's hop to another one. We got the GEFS. I believe this is the GEF. Or the GFS. I cannot English today. I cannot speak. The GFS is ensembles here for the most part. So you can see, I mean, relatively similar scenario. We have a lot of that development kicking off here in the Caribbean for basically late this month into early November, in which, then things really spread out. You can see some of those ensembles, some of those members go far to the east, some of them go to the west. There still is a lot of uncertainty, or there still is a lot of, unknown with this right now, exactly like what the track's going to be, where it's going to go. There's just a lot of differences still to be ironed out. But you can see that the models they're talking about something happening. Then, of course, you have the GEPS, which is another set of models, in which, what do you know, once we approach our way into like early next month, things start to potentially pop off out there. So you can really see, a lot of those members start to pop up out there. And overall, just, a lot of things that it's just too early to tell for sure at this point in time. It's just a little early overall, but, we'll definitely keep you guys posted. We'll definitely monitor this over the next several days for you guys. Black Label says, do I think by Halloween we'll have a better possible track of the storm? Absolutely. So we usually have a good understanding of what a tropical cyclone will do within 5 days overall. So, and since we're still, plus 5+ days out, I mean, we're more than 5 days out. Like I said, track and intensity is unknown at this point. Completely unknown. That is literally an unknown thing right now. So we don't know where it's going to track. We don't know how strong it's going to be. It's just too early. That's why nobody needs to worry about this. Nobody needs to, panic over this or not. Like I said, it's just, there's a lot of things that's just, too early to take seriously right now. But like I said, the one thing I wanted to bring to your guys' attention by the reason of this live stream is just to let you know, hey, there's been some talk, and there's been a lot of consistency in the models, so not necessarily the track or the strength, but more of the fact that the models have been continuously talking about a form of tropical system developing the Caribbean. That is what this stream's about. And basically telling you that, here in the Caribbean, for late this month, early next month, there is going to be a good shot for tropical development here in the Caribbean, which could play out in completely different scenarios. There's a possibility that the storm could be brief very quickly. It goes towards the Caribbean islands, or it could go away from them, could go in the Gulf. Everything's up for grab right now. Everything is still very much unknown regarding the track and intensity. So before, like I said, anybody says that, that's out of the question right now. We cannot discuss track or intensity because it's just way too early overall. So that's that. Now, whenever it comes to it, like I mentioned, consistency is what we're looking for. And that's the big word of tonight is consistency. Is, like I said, is because of the fact that multiple models, multiple ensembles, multiple different models themselves have been talking about this for a while. So we'll definitely be monitoring this very, very closely, okay? Now, another thing, a little bit off topic, but still obviously weather-related, I do want to bring you guys to the States for a minute, because I think we might have a chance for some severe weather coming towards the end of the month. Now, obviously, you guys may or may not know, we consider fall, quote-unquote, second spring, and the fact that it's a second severe weather season. It's not as aggressive usually as spring is for severe weather, but it's our second most active time of the year for severe thunderstorms, because you start introducing a lot of cold air back into the country. Right now, the air from the ground to upper levels is fairly warm because we just went through summer. And as winter comes around, and as we get into the cooler months, that cool air starts to creep its way back into the country, which cools things down. So that can lead to severe weather, in which we're going to pop up the GFS again for a minute. Actually, we're going to hop to a different page here. Same model. We're going to use GFS, same model. There's nothing different about the model. It's just different page. But I like this one, using it a little bit more. So one thing I do want to point out, so this is our instability. This is our ML Cape. This is basically our fuel in the atmosphere for these thunderstorms. Think of it as like the fuel in the gas tank for a car to go. You need fuel for for things to kick off. So later on, as we approach, by the way, the times in the top right still, once again, it's just in a different layout. You can see there, the 25th of October is we're looking at, so tomorrow, Friday, which tomorrow, and you guys can see, everything right there you need to know. But anyways, so that's our instability, and as we basically creep our way towards the later portion of this month, you can actually see here we get a system that develops in right here. This is the frame I want to stick on. This is for Wednesday, the 30th. So this would be for the day before Halloween, where you can actually see how there is a bit of instability out there towards Texas, towards Oklahoma, maybe towards Kansas, maybe even some near Missouri. This is still a little blurry since it's still, a couple days away. This is like 5 days away roughly. But there is a possibility that we could maybe get a little bit of severe weather out there towards the plains coming up here for October 30th, the day before Halloween. And it could even continue into Halloween. Obviously, it's still too early to tell for that. But look out for maybe the 30th and the 31st for possible severe weather. Right now, it looks like the 30th could be a day of severe weather out there towards the towards Texas, towards like Oklahoma. And I was also looking at the kinematics with it too. There is a supporting lower level jet, which could support some good organization, good growth of those storms, and maybe even a tornado environment. Something like that. Obviously, our mid-level stream or mid-level jet stream, you can see that trough right here over the Central Plains that could allow for some severe weather to pop off here. That is something that we're also going to really need to have to watch. Is the possibility for a severe weather setup here coming up into later this month. Like I said, October 30th. That's the day before Halloween, which like I said, we could see a bit of severe weather out there. We do have that trough there. You guys can currently see. And another thing, of course, is our surface. If we look at our dew point temperatures, we do have a lot of strong northerly advection, a lot of moisture ripping its way from the Gulf into these states here towards the Central Plains. Warming things up, warming those surfaces up quite a bit, indicating a lot of moisture too with these high dew point values from all of that water vapor that's being loaded into the plains. We have all of that moisture, all of that water vapor that's present in the Gulf. That'll all kind of creep its way in towards the Central Plains. And like I said, we're going to have a low pressure system, that big dip in the jet stream we were talking about there, in which that is going to increase our wind shear, which is our winds in our upper atmosphere and just whatever level of the atmosphere. It'll be increasing those winds throughout the atmosphere as a whole, not just ground level, but also upper level. So that will indicate a environment for potential tornadic activity. So once again, there's also included, like I said, a lower level jet, which sometimes when we see those, that could indicate a tornado threat too. Now, obviously, it's still a little early to take that too seriously, but I just wanted to mention that is also a possibility. We're watching out for the potential of severe weather here in the Central Plains here for the 30th. It's another thing I just wanted to mention here while we're here today. And if we take a look at the previous model the previous run from the GFS, this is the latest 18 Zulu. You can see right there my cursor up at the top. 18 Zulu. That's the latest model run from the GFS. That's the fresh off the, or that's, I would say fresh off the press, but it's the freshest model we got of the GFS here. Now, if we take a look at the 12 Zulu, you can see we're now in the 12 Zulu. This is from earlier today. You can still see that instability is present in that same area. Once again, Texas, Oklahoma could have some instability available for us for the afternoon, maybe the evening of October 30th. This could be a potential severe weather event. And if we take a look at those lower level jets there, or the lower level jet again, you can still see we do have a bit of a jet in which we take a look at our mid levels. You will see that little bit of a trough that we have going on throughout there. So severe weather is a good possibility coming up into October 30th. It could even continue into the 31st. We'll have to see how things play out. It's just, once again, it's just another thing that I really wanted to mention to you guys, just to talk about, is that is a good possibility of, maybe a bit of severe weather could be included for late this month. Now, I was looking at SPC earlier. As of right now, here, bring this up for you guys. As of right now, the Storm Prediction Center does not have anything regarding. Let's see here. Doesn't really have anything regarding severe weather as of yet. I think it's just a little too early to make any decisions since there is still a bit of differential. But here for like the 31st, you can see instead of being potential too low, it's predictability too low, meaning that it's just a little far out to be for sure. Another thing we're gonna look at real quickly. I'm gonna bring this back up. I think I have a scene for this. I don't know if I do or not. Here, let's hop over here for a minute. We're gonna look at Euro. This is actually something I have not looked at yet. Obviously, you need to focus on more models than just one of them. That's a very important thing when forecasting. Let's see here, severe weather. Unfortunately, it looks like they just made those available for Plus users, which is kind of dumb. But here, let's at least look at our jet stream to see if there's anything going on there. Let's pull up our 500 millibar jet stream here, roughly mid-level atmosphere. So as we approach our way into the 29th, oh, buddy. Yep, there it is. Yeah, honestly, GFS and Euro are actually in fair agreement with the jet stream. Look at that. So we do have a trough here, rolling its way into the plains for the 30th, 31st overall. Definitely got some funky stuff going on with the jet stream coming up here. Which, like I said, right around Halloween, day before, if not the day of, we could have some severe weather for the plains. Like I said, that would likely consist of like Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, maybe Missouri, portions of the Midwest. We'll have to see. But yeah, that is definitely something to keep in mind. Let's see, how well is the lower level jet handled with this model here? Oh wow. Wow, okay. So Euro shows a very strong lower level jet in place here. Let's just grab a. Oh, never mind. I can't grab a sounding. It's available for Plus users only. Never mind. Let's see. I'm trying to think what else. There is another site I could use, but they're currently down right now. To look at Euro. Fortunately, some people just have to do that. I don't think this page has availability for Euro. They have European model, but I don't think they have instability. No, they don't. But I can pull. Yeah, I can pull. Oh, look at that. You know what? Euro shows a long line there. That could even be some squall line activity there. Here's what we're gonna do. October 30th, we're gonna grab a sounding out there near Tulsa. There is like no instability on that at all. It's kind of a rough way to look at things here. Okay, well there is some indicators of some forms of instability here. Let's see here. I just don't know if. Yeah, there's definitely nothing on that. It's just, if you grab one of those soundings, it's just kind of a little early to look for now. Hopefully that site will come back up soon that I usually use for it, but it's down right now. But anyways, yeah, you can kind of see Euro indicating a potential squall there. You see that long green bar? That's a cold front. And that's another thing that this thing would do, would actually bring down some cooler air. Yeah, there you go. You see that very sharp front there? That would bring up some warmer conditions into the eastern country. And that would also cool things down across the Rockies, and that would advance likely further eastbound. I don't know. We'll have to see. Let's look at GFS's perspective on that. Wow. Look at the gradient there, dude. That is wild. You see the blue on red there? So if you don't know what you're looking at, this is basically what we call a temperature anomaly map. This is just data averaged from 1981 to 2010 regarding, if it's hotter or normal than those normal conditions, if that makes sense. So basically, if you have the red here, this is indicating that temperatures are forecasted from this model to be warmer than usual. And if you have the blue, the opposite, it's forecasted to be colder than normal. And so on the back side of that cold front, you can actually see here, right in there, on the back side, that's your cold front, by the way. The back side, you can actually see how it's much cooler. In the front, you can see it's much more warmer, much more hot. So, yeah, there is definitely indications of a potential cold front with maybe some squall line activity, potential severe weather through the plains in the Midwest for the 30th, maybe into the 31st. So, we will have to monitor that. But anyways, folks, we're going to hop on back to the tropics. I know, like I said, this stream is mostly about the tropics, but I did want to mention that potential for severe weather is, that is a possibility. I'm going to keep an eye on it. If it does become something, regardless, we'll keep an eye on it. If it turns out to be nothing, then we'll obviously let you know and all that stuff. But, like I mentioned, we'll keep y'all up to date. You got the crazy latest GFS month run doing some Fujiwara stuff here. But once again, it's just too early to take these models serious, guys. Once again, just too early. There's no way of knowing track, no way of knowing intensity, so there's no way of knowing how strong the storm will be or where it will go right now. But, like I said, once again, the word of tonight, like I mentioned, is consistency. And the fact that models have been consistent and the fact of showing potential activity growing here into basically late this month, early next month here. You can really see, once again, this is the GEFS members here. This is the ensembles, in which you can see that there's a lot of activity here. This is for October 31st. This is for Halloween. A lot of activity potentially brewing out there, potential system here into the Caribbean. So we're going to have to really be monitoring that, in which, once again, I'm going to say this over and over, so once again, regarding the track, regarding the intensity, that's just too early to tell. That's unknown. And now, here's the thing, though. This is what makes this special, is the fact, like I mentioned, that this here is, been consistent for the last, 3 days or maybe more. It's been ongoing for quite a bit. So, anyways, we'll definitely be monitoring this. We'll definitely keep a very, very close eye, a very, very close look at this. Once again, we're going to take a quick little peek here. Speaking of the tropics of Christy, we got Christy going on here. Christy is a whopping Category 5 hurricane. I would say it could be a little weaker now. It's undergoing a eye wall replacement cycle, which is basically just kind of shedding, like I always say, like that's how I kind of compare it, is like how snakes and stuff like that, they like to shed, or they do shed. It's kind of a hurricane's way of shedding, I guess, is the best way I could explain it to you. There's a lot of things that go into this, but you can see how right before that eye wall replacement cycle, how it was perfectly symmetrical. That eye there was perfectly spherical, or circular. So that's the word for it. But then you can see in the latest scans how that eye starts to wobble a bit, and it starts to kind of get smaller, and it just shrinks. But we still got some really strong bands going around the storm, though, the eye wall. So that's still indicating that it's not a weakening. I think it's just an eye wall replacement cycle. But whenever this does occur, the winds do typically weaken a bit. So that's good. Anyways, see, where is this going? Came in late. I'm sorry. This storm here is not a problem. I just wanted to talk about it. This one's up in the eastern Pacific, just away from all of everywhere. This is a fish storm, so this one's we're just kind of admiring its beauty for now. But like I mentioned, where we need to watch is the Caribbean, because we do have some activity brewing here for later this month into early next month. Once again, and we're not sure with where it's going to go, how big it's going to be. How strong it's going to be. That's still things that we cannot answer right now. But, overall, like we mentioned, this is just something that we'll keep a close eye on out there for a while. Okay? But anyways, my friends, well, we're not going to keep you too long. Like I said, this is just a quick little 30-minute update for you guys I wanted to do. There's really not a whole lot going on in the weather world other than that little severe weather setup we were talking about, as well as, this potential tropical situation we got going on out here in the Caribbean. So, between those two, that's what we need to watch. But, there's nothing super wild immediately in danger for anywhere in the U.S. Like I said, right now, this storm right here is not a concern for anywhere in the U.S. at the moment, so no need to worry about it. The only thing for the states I would say to watch right now, watch this as well, but the only thing that we need to, keep an eye out there for, especially, maybe some severe weather, like I said, the 30th and the 31st for Halloween. Central Plains, maybe some of the Midwest could see some severe weather. We'll have to see. Okay? But, alrighty, everybody. Well, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Once again, thank you for joining. I know it's a quick little live stream. Just wanted to get that through with you and everything like that. Let's see here. You're welcome, Sonya. How do you say your name again? I'm so sorry. I'm just bad with names. I always mess up everybody's name, so. But anyways, you guys. Well, you're very welcome, y'all. Like I said, it's good to be here. If you haven't already, consider hitting that like, subscribing. Be greatly appreciated. And alrighty, everybody, thanks for joining. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your nights. See you later, Peachy. Thanks for joining. And alrighty, everybody, we'll catch y'all in the next one. See you later, guys. Catch ya later on.